Hi, it's Amanda Harris here with Re-Kinect, and today I have my partner, my husband, and business coach Chris Harris joining me for a few tips on how to stay on an exercise routine while you're at home. And we thought we would start off our tips with this one because I know there's a lot of content out there right now regarding the right exercises to do while you're at home. There's lots and lots of variety out there, but we felt like that it would be a good time to talk about actually establishing and staying on a routine now that everybody's schedules have been upended and you're probably working from home. You've got myriad distractions, you've got kids running around more than likely, and so we're here to help you establish and stay on a good exercise routine. And our first tip, we're going to do 3 tips, and then I think a bonus tip, right, Chris?
Yeah, we're going to sneak a bonus tip in for you.
So our first tip is find your why. And when I say find your why, what I mean is you need to dig deep and find the biggest, most compelling reason you can about why you want to stay on an exercise or movement routine right now. And you know, up to now, I think I used to get a lot of answers when I would ask this question about I want to look good or I want to feel better. And they were sort of these generalized answers. But those answers have probably changed now based on the environment that you're living and working in. And so I'm thinking right now I'm going to hear more about wanting to stay sane, right? Like wanting to take a little pressure off, or really working on wellness and improving your health, taking an active role in improving and maintaining your health. So whatever that compelling why is for you, dig deep, figure it out, and write it down. And you can even post it around your house to remind you how important exercise and movement is right now. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is called the 5-15 rule. And we're going to step back a little bit. What we're really talking about is behavioral change. So anything that we're trying to do differently than we used to do before. So we're trying to either get into habits or break old habits. And the tip I'd like to share with our viewers is the 5-15 rule. So what that means, the concept is anything that requires 5 seconds or less to do or engage in, you're more likely to keep that momentum and keep doing it. Anything that requires you to take 15 seconds or more to do, instead of being able to instantly do it, it gives you time to think about what you're getting ready to do so that you don't do it. What we're really talking about is impulse control.
Yes. Is
on one end of the spectrum, and on the other end of the spectrum is procrastination. So if you tend to procrastinate, we're going to focus on the 5-second rule.
Yes.
If you tend to want to combat impulse control, we're going to talk about the 15-second part of this rule. So let's start with the 5 seconds. So the example with that would be, say you're trying to get into the habit of walking regularly, and let's say you want to start walking in the morning. Most of us, say this is the first time you've ever tried to engage in that particular habit, would set your alarm, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you go downstairs, you have some coffee, you muddle around a little bit. By the time you get to the point where you're putting on your shoes, a lot of time has lapsed and your motivation is gone. You're probably not going to do it. Instead, what I would offer is make it so that you can engage in that activity in 5 seconds or less from the time you wake up. How can you do that? Put your walking shoes right on top of your alarm clock. Or maybe go to sleep in the pants that you're going to wear while you're walking. Or maybe put your walking gear on the toilet so that when you go in there, you have to move it out of the way before you do just put it on. But anything that requires you 5 seconds or less to start that activity going. On the flip side of this, say you've got a hard time with impulse control. So my biggest impulse, because there's so much food around right now, is I love brownies. I love to eat those brownies. Anytime I can get my hands on them, I'm going to eat them. So if there's a plate of brownies that's within 5 seconds of me grabbing them, trust me, they will all go fit into this mouth. To create a time that will elapse before I can put them in my mouth, I've got to create something that's going to be 15 seconds or more. So what I would do is take the brownies, put them in an opaque container, hand them to this lady. She's going to go hide them somewhere in the house. That doesn't mean I won't have the impulse to go eat the brownies later on, but what will happen is I'm looking around for them. I can't find them. It's taking this part of the brain and turning it on. So I go, maybe I shouldn't be shoving brownies in my mouth right now while I'm desperately looking for them. But anything that requires 15 seconds or more will help deter a habit that you're trying to break. So those would be my tips for the 5-15 rule. You've got another one.
Yes. So let's say that you're doing everything right. You know, you have your shoes out, you're ready to go in the morning, and you get everything ready, and then all of a sudden, maybe your child has a distress call, and they say, I need you right now. And we were laughing the other day about, I need you right now, no matter what. It's so important. Everything's about to explode. And then the question was...
I need help finding my green crayon.
Yes.
So critical mass.
Right. So whether it's something pressing like a missing green crayon, or whether you get an emergency call from work that seems to hijack your carefully planned exercise session, it's really important that you don't just say, "Oh, what the heck? I'll do it later," or "I wasn't probably going to get to it anyway."
So I'll just do it tomorrow.
Right. So what's important is to, instead of doing that and giving up on it altogether, maybe your 30-minute walk becomes a 10-minute walk around your house on a break between calls or between distress calls from your child or whatever. But you're getting something in. You're getting your exercise in enough to where you can check that box and say, yes, I did it. I am still on track. That's really important, not to give up entirely when you have one little glitch that arises in the system.
Right. Anything that you can think of that will give you just a little bit of progress is a win.
Exactly. And then you have a bonus tip for us.
Yeah, I thought this would make sense considering the environment we're living in. So Amanda and I both help folks in some capacity with their accountability. So we add a layer of accountability to whatever objectives or goals they're going for, so that we'll call in and we'll ask them if they've done it or not. Well, you've got a gift in this situation where we're on lockdown, is you have a bunch of people probably that you're stuck at home with. Those people, your family members, can be a layer of accountability for you.
Absolutely.
You can empower one or all of them. Say you've got a significant other that wants to get in the habit of movement or exercise. You can hold each other accountable. You can even put a grid up on your refrigerator, and that person can check off a box. There is another interesting strategy, and I caution you to use your discretion with this. One of the folks or family members that we're not really talking about that much are your kids. Their whole lives have been upended. The routines have been shattered. They're probably swinging from the rafters in some capacity.
Yeah,
a lot of it
out of control.
Yeah, they're feeling out of control. One thing you can do, again, at your discretion, is you can empower your little ones to hold you accountable by saying, hey, do you mind reminding Dad at the end of the day if he's gone for his walk? I caution you to make sure that they're not doing it out of sadistic nature to just pound on you, unless you like that sort of thing. But find a family member that you're cooped up with that will be a big advocate of yours and can hold you accountable. Yeah. That will help this whole thing, putting all these pieces together. Either strategy that you choose or combination of these strategies will help you get back into the habit of moving and exercising again.
And who knows, that family member may want to join you in your activity, which could be kind of fun too. So not just a layer of accountability, but a little partner in crime there. So
camaraderie.
Yeah, so get creative. And we hope that you have enjoyed these little tips and that you will stay on track and continue to move and exercise and be well and stay healthy. And we will meet again soon for another tip. So join us again and take care out there.
Until next time, bye.
Bye.